Hey there, so in this video I'm going to talk about the differences among spot, margin, and futures trading on Binance. Although this video is on Binance specifically, most of what I'll be talking about in this video is generic and can be applicable to other exchanges as well. I created this table here that I'll be going over in this video to help you see the differences. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave a link down below in the video description. Also, if you by chance don't already have a Binance account, I'll leave a sign up link down below that can help you save 20% on your trade fees. Having said that, let's get started. So in terms of the learning curve, spot is the easiest, and then it gets a little bit more challenging with intermediate, and then with futures, it's advanced stuff. I would recommend not trading futures if you are new to crypto. So how does it work? Well, with spot, you can only put in orders, buy or sell, for coins that you have. You actually own the coins in this instance. Now, as for margin trading, you're actually trading on the spot market, which means that you can only put in orders for coins that you have in your spot account. However, you can always borrow coins against your collateral or other coins that you have to then buy or sell those coins. In other words, put an order in. Now for futures, it's an entirely different market. You're buying contracts where the price is derived from an underlying asset. This means that you're not actually buying a coin. This is why futures are also known as derivatives. With futures, you don't need to borrow to place an order, and thus you can place orders anytime. However, you will first need to put up collateral or coins against any orders that get filled or open contracts. So how about leverage? Well, for spot, again, you're not borrowing anything, and therefore this is not applicable. As for margin trading, the max leverage is 10x. This will depend on the coin that you're trading and how you choose to collateralize your debt, whether it's cross or isolated margin. So if we go to the Binance margin trading tab over here and you look at this, you can see these numbers next to these trade pairs. So we have 5, 10, 3, and that basically means the maximum leverage you can trade on these pairs. And so also, if you look over here, there's 3x and 10x. For isolated, it's 10, and for cross, it's 3. Again, that just means how you're collateralizing your debt. With isolated, you're putting in coins in a specific isolated margin trading account, whereas cross, it is collateralized across all of your open positions and your coins. So that's basically the difference between the two. Now, as for futures, the max is 125x for both cross and isolated margin. Now, if we go to the futures tab over here and we click on this 20x button, you can see that it is 125x on this slider. So that basically shows you how much the maximum leverage you can trade on futures. How about interest? Well, you don't need to worry about anything because you're not borrowing anything because you can't. As for margin, interest starts accruing the moment you borrow. So interest rates vary per coin and accrues and accumulates daily. Now you can see how much their daily borrowing rate is over here. This is Binance's trading fees table and they have different tabs. But if we go over here to margin borrow interest and we click on that, it'll tell you the daily borrow interest rate for all their coins. So for 1 inch, AGLD, and so on and so forth. And over here are their daily borrow interest rates. So for Anchor, it's 0.02%, or AVAX, it's 0.05%, and so on and so forth. Now with futures, they have something called a funding rate, which changes every 8 hours. Sometimes this rate is positive, and then sometimes it's negative, which means there's a rebate. This will depend on the amount of open longs and shorts. Now the rate applicable to you will depend on your position that you've taken, whether it's long or short. So if we go back to the futures trading dashboard over here and we look at this part where it says funding and then countdown, well, the countdown means how much time is left in the 8 hours, and then this is how much it is for the interest. How about base trade fees? Well, for spot, it's 0.1%. And if we go back to Binance's trading fee page and we click on spot trading, you can see that over here it says 0.1% for both makers and takers. And then if we go over here to margin, again, it's 0.1% because you're trading on the spot market. The only difference is that you're borrowing to trade. Now, as for futures, it will depend on whether you're trading with USDT or BUSD. In addition, if you're a maker or a taker, as the fee will vary. So if I go back to this page over here and then I click on USDM futures trading, you can see that these are the fees for makers and takers for USDT, and for BUSD, maker and taker over here. Now, the last thing is, how about getting liquidated? Well, for spot, again, it's not applicable because you're not borrowing anything. So all the coins that you have are all yours. Now, in terms of margin, yes, you can get liquidated. And again, this basically means that your positions are automatically sold off to cover your borrowed amount. Now, if you're not exactly sure of how that all works for margin trading, I've actually made a video that you can check out where I explain how getting liquidated on margin trading works. And then lastly, for futures, yes, you can definitely get liquidated. Again, this means that your positions are automatically sold off to cover your borrowed amount. As futures are different from margin trading, I've made a separate video on how you can get liquidated on futures trading if you're interested in that. So there you have it. Those are the differences among spot, margin, and futures trading on Binance. Hopefully this video has helped you understand the differences among them. Anyways, if you're interested in getting the most up-to-date and relevant content in the Canadian crypto space, head over to www.cryptoforcanadians.ca. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.